I'm Maria. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm a freelance 2D animator. I mostly work in children's TV, but I'm currently developing some personal projects, and this channel is where I post about that journey. Right now, I'm still deep in character design mode, and today I'm going to be focusing on finishing the turns for my ghost character, finalizing the proportions from every angle before moving on to the color cleanup. And this is a really meticulous stage which needs a lot of time and focus, because once this stage is done, these drawings are going to be the foundations for everything to come. The character rigs, the animation, everything to do with this project. And I've really been enjoying this part of the project, because before this stage, the designs were still shifting and changing. But as the designs have solidified, I'm finally starting to visualize how these drawings might come to life as fully formed characters. So while I work on this today, I want to share a few thoughts which have been on my mind recently, as well as how the project's been going. How is it? Today I met up with one of my friends and we went to a cafe so we could work alongside each other. My friend is an actor and was back in London for a couple of months, and while catching up with him, our conversation reminded me of acting school. While I was training, balancing work during the week with classes in the evenings and weekends, I really enjoyed discovering a completely new craft. And although I love animation, I think after years of following the same work routines, I really needed something to remind me of why I fell in love with storytelling in the first place. As I progressed on the course, I came to understand the craft of storytelling from a whole new perspective. Before, I used to view the character's movements as functional, from the outside looking in. But gradually, I started to see things from an emotional and motivational perspective, from the inside, looking out through the character's eyes. And instead of thinking, how am I going to get this character from A to B, I started asking myself, why is this character doing this task? What do they want? And how do they feel about it? It was a small shift, but it completely changed the way I approached animation. Because once I started thinking that way, every gesture, every glance, every pause suddenly became more intentional and more connected to the character and story. When it came to my project, I had finally reached the stage where I could start adding colour to my ghost character. So that was my focus while working alongside my friend. In the weeks leading up to that session, I had been refining the turns, making sure details like the rings around his legs lined up properly, shortening the arms so they were more in proportion with the body, and adjusting the facial features so the design stayed consistent from every angle. But while I was working on these technical details, I kept thinking about character and performance. How would this character actually move and behave when I finally came to animate it? Would it be bright, energetic and curious? Careful, fussy and precise? Or mischievous and chaotic? I'm realising that while I don't have to make these decisions right now, they aren't separate from the design or the animation. They are the animation. The personality informs movement, movement informs performance, and performance is ultimately what brings a character to life. So, in a strange way, sitting in that cafe colouring my character, it felt like I had come full circle. back to storytelling again, but this time through animation.
Go. And I'm not going to enjoy the same, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I just want to see it.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend a lot
No, I know.
I've been here for 2 months and I'm just like a lot.
Hi guys, so today I'm at my friend's house. We've been working alongside each other, but she's having a little nap at the moment and I'm continuing with the work that I'm doing. Today I've got some character designs which I'm trying to finish for my project. Every time I think I've finished the turns, I find that there's still something which needs to be tweaked or changed or fixed. So I've been doing my best to fix that today. But yeah, I'm just in this lovely house and I'm just quickly showing you the view from the window. Yeah, you can see it a little bit better because it's a little bit later in the day now. I think it's about 5 o'clock now. So I'm going to make a start in a moment, but I quickly want to make a couple more adjustments to the character turns. As I was adding colour, I realised that I've missed out adding where the knee and elbow joints are going to be situated on the character, and I need to add that on all the turns because when I come to rig it, it will just make my life a lot easier. So I'm going to quickly add that, then hopefully move on to colour. But first, got to get some tea. While I worked, the afternoon waned on. It was one of those beautiful late summer days, still warm, but with the first hints of autumn in the air. And I remember thinking, how quickly this year has flown by. Sometimes it feels like I blinked and weeks have passed me by. And it leaves me wondering, where has the time gone? And what have I got to show for it? But when I look at my projects, even though the progress often feels slow and frustrating in the moment, when I look back, I can see where my time has gone. I can see the progression. Every drawing, every revision, every file saved. showing where my time has accumulated. Maybe this time next year, I will look back again, notice that hint of autumn in the air, and think back to this day. And when I do, it will be interesting to look back on how far I've come since this moment. And I'm curious if you've ever noticed how your creativity marks time. Each drawing, each monologue, each play or song written, becoming a distinct chapter in your life. Have you guys ever experienced this? And when you have, realised how far you've come? If so, I would love to hear about it in the comments. Okay, so here's where I ended up today. The ghost is pretty much there. I still need to do some final checks, but I'm happy with this. Next time I'm going to be focusing on the girl character, as her design still needs more fixes, plus the final kind of cleanup. Recently, a friend mentioned that in my last video, it wasn't clear what this project is about. And I have so much that I'm juggling right now that it's really easy to miss things. So I'm quickly going to explain what my goal is for this project. It began as an old film project, which I started after graduating uni, but abandoned for various reasons. And even though I've long outgrown that project, I still really like the characters. So I took them, I revamped them, only this time, instead of making a short film, I'm aiming to create 12 animated vignettes, one for each month of the year. I drew these illustrations, and 12 of these are going to become the background layouts for each of the monthly vignettes, with my two characters doing various activities in each one. I know it doesn't sound very complicated, but I already have two big projects that I'm working on, which will take time to create. And I really wanted something simpler to work on and post about while I'm working on those other two projects in the background. So I hope that explains things. Working on this project and looking back at my old film project has been making me reflect on how creativity bookmarks different seasons of my life. As I've been looking back through my old project, it's transported me back to those evenings and late nights where I was pouring everything I had into it. I have times where creatively everything feels still, like winter. And then there are other times where I feel myself in a type of limbo as one season quietly fades into the next. Even though autumn is right around the corner, ever since finishing at the studio, I have more time, more energy, and just more momentum overall. So much so that creatively, I feel like I'm entering the springtime period where my art and productivity are beginning to bloom. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did and would like to support the project, feel free to subscribe. Until next time, take care and good night.